Hello, and welcome back to the channel where we explore the mysteries that science often dismisses. I am the kind of reporter who has spent 3 decades chasing stories that get written off as instrument errors or mass hallucinations. You might remember my old reports on the Tunguska event. After they resurfaced in the late 90s, letters started pouring in from geologists, hunters, and village elders. They all described the same strange anomalies: a deep silence just before a flash of light, animals staring transfixed at the sky, and forests felled in perfect circles with no crater to be found. Then on September 26, 2002, a radio message landed on my desk. It was from Geological Survey Unit number 47, stationed near the town of Bodebo in Siberia. The message was short and cryptic. Last night, a light appeared in the sky. No roar, no trail. After a minute, a deep thud, like a mountain settling. Our instruments recorded a gamma-ray spike. The emergency ministry said, "It's just a meteor. Forget it. We haven't forgotten. Shen the one who listens to the forest." Those words, "listens to the forest," I'd heard them before, spoken by an eyewitness to the Tunguska event back in 1927. This wasn't a coincidence. It was a summons. 2 days later, I was on a cargo plane, my ticket paid for with 10 sacks of sugar and a bottle of spirits. By October 4th, I was at the geologists' camp. By October 5th, I was taking notes, because in the taiga, truth doesn't wait. So, let's get to the facts. On September 25th, 2002, around 2 in the morning, a massive airburst happened over the upper Vitim River. We were talking about a remote area at 58 degrees north latitude and 115 degrees east longitude. The energy released was staggering. According to Moscow's Institute of Applied Physics, it was equivalent to about 1,000 tons of TNT. Let that sink in. That's comparable to a small tactical nuclear weapon, but here's the strange part. There was no mushroom cloud, no widespread panic, no radiation warnings issued to the public. Just a brilliant flash in the night sky, followed by a muffled boom. The explosion took place at an altitude of 25 to 30 kilometers, and just like Tunguska, no crater was ever formed. No fragments of any kind were ever found. Official science was quick to slap a label on it: a minor Tunguska event caused by a small meteoroid. Convenient, right? Give it a name and move on. But the eyewitness accounts and the physical evidence tell a completely different story, one that raises questions the official explanation just can't answer. Let's look at the report from the geological team, who were stationed 150 kilometers away from ground zero. They said the sky lit up brighter than a full moon. The glow lasted about 10 seconds. Then, a deep thud, as if the earth itself sighed. It wasn't a sharp crack of an explosion. It was a deep, resonant thud. Now consider the testimony of a local Awenki hunter named Semyon Amrin. He told me something that has stuck with me ever since. He said, "I didn't see a sphere. I saw something elongated like a teepee. It wasn't falling, it was dissolving." Then silence. The forest fell quiet. Even the wolves didn't howl for 3 days. Think about that. Wolves are incredibly sensitive animals. For them to go completely silent for 3 days, something profoundly unusual must have happened. And here, that's another critical detail. Not a single witness, not one, described the fiery trail that a meteor always leaves as it burns through the atmosphere. Instead, people saw a gradual brightening, almost as if a giant, invisible dimmer switch was being turned up in the sky. A month after the event, an expedition from the city of Irkutsk surveyed 12 different sites within 30 kilometers of the epicenter. Their findings were baffling. They found no micrometeorites, which you'd expect from a disintegrated space rock. They found no traces of iron, nickel, or cobalt, the common building blocks of meteoroids. But they did find something else. They found anomalous levels of strontium-90 and cesium-1-30-7 in the soil and moss. These are radioactive isotopes. The levels didn't match the background radiation left over from Cold War-era nuclear tests. The scientists' official conclusion was curious. They wrote it was possibly the decay of an unknown isotope. But if this was a natural meteor, where did the radioactivity come from? Based on all the testimony and the data, I want to propose an alternative reconstruction of events. What if, above that remote stretch of the Vitim River, there was a technical device? Perhaps one from the same series as the object that appeared over Tunguska a century earlier. It wasn't falling out of the sky. It was descending quietly, perhaps on a surveillance mission to monitor the effects of recent logging and gold mining in the region. Then for some unknown reason, its power system failed. Maybe it was an interaction with the Earth's powerful magnetic field near the Stanovoy mountain range. The device didn't explode in a conventional sense. It disintegrated. Its very structure, perhaps based on plasma or some advanced quantum principles we don't understand, dissolved into pure energy without a violent shockwave. This theory explains everything. It explains the lack of a crater and the absence of any debris. It explains the strange ionization signature and gamma-ray spike picked up by the geologists. It even explains the bizarre behavior of the wildlife, the deep silence that fell over the forest. So why not a meteoroid? Let's recap. First, a cosmic body of that size would have left a blazing trail visible for hundreds of kilometers. Witnesses only saw a localized glow. Second, a natural meteoroid does not produce artificial radioisotopes like cesium and strontium. The only other explanation would be a nuclear-powered satellite, but neither Russia nor the US reported losing one at that time. Finally, the object's behavior, dissolving instead of detonating, is inconsistent with any known natural phenomenon. Now, I'm not claiming a spaceship with little green men flew over the Vitim. I'm simply stating that the evidence points to a different kind of event entirely. A quiet, non-destructive event that still left an indelible mark on the land and in the memory of those who saw it. While official science is content to call this a small meteor, the taiga holds its secrets close. The local Iwenki people have their own explanation. They say it was the Lashi, the forest spirit, descending from the sky to check if the earth still lives. Journalism doesn't need to believe in spirits, but it has a duty to listen to those who were there. Thank you for watching this investigation to the very end. If you, like me, find yourself lying awake at night, wondering about the hidden patterns and unspoken truths of our world, please consider subscribing to the channel. There are so many more mysteries out there, just waiting for their moment. Until next time.